Since the 1920s, the crown jewel of East Cabrillo Boulevard, known commonly as the Cabrillo Pavilion, served as a major hub of recreation and summer activity for Santa Barbara. But over the decades, the Cabrillo Pavilion had started to show its age and was in need of restoration.
So when we set out to begin this project 10 years ago, the building systems were failing, the building wasn't as usable, it was essentially outdated and not meeting the community need we felt it needed to meet. So we engaged in a full-scale restoration and renovation of this building. It included seismic upgrades, it includes structural upgrades, waterproofing. All of the concrete that you see around the building is new, so we replaced everything around the building. We made it fully accessible, both inside and outside. On the interior, we actually have an elevator now that connects the two floors. The upper floor is our special events floor, so the extent of the renovation there included rebuilding the terrace enclosure, upgrading the interiors, reopening the former tea room, which is now our entry lounge. We ended up eliminating all of the staff offices that were in the upper floor. So the entire upper floor is available for public use, rather than having it a portion for public use and a portion for staff. Some of the other considerations we had is the building downstairs was so outdated, it really wasn't providing the community recreation function that it set out to do. Now we have 2 multi-purpose rooms, we have a fitness gym, we still have shower locker facilities, and then we have a beautifully restored lobby so that people can come in and enjoy being inside. And then lastly, the Cabrillo Pavilion has always had a restaurant of some sort. In the beginning it was in the upstairs and it transitioned into more of a snack bar environment downstairs. We now will have a full service, 3 meal a day, indoor and outdoor restaurant that faces East Beach.
Community input from various groups and individuals was an important component in the restoration of the nearly 100-year-old historic landmark.
So when we embarked on the renovation, we held focus groups with pavilion users, and what we heard resoundingly was, keep it for what it does, just make it better. And that's exactly what we've done. It's a modern facility inside a historic shell.
Beginning, we went through an extensive programming process. So it was looking at reorganizing the space in the most efficient manner we could. Our goal was to maintain the historic integrity of the building and to restore it to its original grandeur. In the 40s, this addition was added as part of the efforts for World War II. And so through the years, the city got used to this extra real estate. So we really had to study different ways to maintain this square footage, but have it feel like it was part of the original building. And so we did achieve that. I think we added over a foot from where the height of the window was that you were all used to today. And actually throughout the exterior too, we introduced quite a bit more lighting to the exterior. So we had to go through historic landmarks to make sure that was, we got that approved, because that was a new element that wasn't part of the original design. Back then they didn't really light the exteriors of buildings like they do now. So we took advantage of the new LED lighting. The whole building is LED, and that was a huge benefit.
After the construction of the Cabrillo Pavilion, it was gifted to the city of Santa Barbara in 1927 by David Gray, a philanthropist and son of Scottish immigrant John S. Gray, an early investor and former president of Ford Motor Company.
So David Gray, who had the vision and foresight to build this building, did so in a way that really helped galvanize and focus community interest in preserving coastal areas and open space throughout Santa Barbara. The beachfront we have in Santa Barbara today is the result of the vision of people 100 years ago, and that's part of his legacy. You couldn't build this building today, certainly a building that is open and available for public use. Nowhere else on the coast can someone have a family event or a community celebration that's affordable and right on the beach in California.
I think it's important in the city, I know the City Parks and Recreation Department in general, take very good care to make sure that everything Santa Barbara has to offer is accessible to everyone who lives in Santa Barbara. The restoration project for this is phenomenal. Not only is it capturing the historic significance of this building, it's also expanding its access. I really appreciate the ability to upgrade to standard ADA requirements. People have universal access to both upstairs and downstairs, but with such care that when you look at something, you can still see the historic nature. The construction process too took such care to take notice of some of the historic details, bringing that first area, that parlor front, which is what the place looked like from the beginning, back to its original setting, I think is really very special. And it's indicative of, I think, the values of the city of Santa Barbara, which is honoring your historic structures and and the history of this place, along with a love of community and a love of recreation. Most people, when they came here in the past, many of them remember upstairs for events, and they'll see that there's not only that great big room, but the view now is amazing, that front parlor area. So to think of new ways to explore and celebrate whatever ceremonial item you may have or a meeting. But the second thing is downstairs. I didn't even know when I was in office much about what was downstairs. It was just a mishmash of things that not many people used. It is now just such a great opportunity for recreation activities, for people to stay fit. The restaurant is expanding, so really to explore something maybe they didn't even know existed before. So the future for the Cabrillo Pavilion, you know, this is a 90-plus-year-old facility, and I think the amount of work it took to restore it to its former glory can bring another 90 years of just fun, excitement, recreation, gatherings, or even just a nice little, happy hour at the beach. I hope it continues to be a convening place where people will come together and just explore the beauty of East Beach, whether it be for watching a volleyball game or having dinner or just coming together with your own community group. There's just so much. I'd love to know what people think and hear what kind of new stories are going to happen, just as we've heard stories for generations.